Hey everybody, it's Dr. Guy of the dissertationmentor.com and author of The Dissertation Warrior, and I want to answer a question that was left by Kath on my Facebook page, The Dissertation Mentor Dr. Guy on Facebook. And her question was, roughly paraphrasing here, she was saying that after a number of changes, her organization for data collection, the organization she was relying upon from which to collect her data, has backed out. And of course, as those of you that are in early in your dissertation, you can imagine how horrifying this would be, especially when you're so close to the finish line. And for those of you in data collection, this is like the ultimate worry, which is that your organization or those that you're relying upon to get your data suddenly are not there after you've received IRB approval. So I want to approach this in two separate ways. First of all, I want to talk about what are the things that you can do ahead of collecting your data to make sure that that relationship sticks and stays and those people are there for you. And then I want to talk about what you do while you're collecting your data to ensure that that relationship does not go sour. First of all, when you are in the early phases of your dissertation or you're just in the initial chapters, you're creating your proposal, you've not received IRB, that is ethics approval yet from your university to collect your data, it's quite important not to overstate to the organization that you're considering using for that you are in fact ready to collect your data. It's important that you say to them, hey, I'm a doctoral student and potentially in the near future I'd like to be doing a study with you. Is that something that even you would allow one to do? You would emphasize you are not asking for their direct approval at that point, but you're just saying sort of informally, is this something that you would even entertain in any way at all? In professional organizations in particular, this is useful if you're an existing member. You're a member of that organization and people know you. And I think that's what I want to start out by emphasizing is that when you have an existing relationship with someone, yeses are so much more easily, yeses arrive much more simply. They're easier to get. Whereas if you are going to someone that has never heard of you or has a very limited exposure to you, or worst yet, their exposure to you has been concerning, then it's possible that they're not going to allow you to utilize that organization as a base for your work. But if trust exists and if a relationship exists, then it's highly likely that you're going to be able to utilize that organization. But you can't ask for formal approval from them yet. As you get a little bit later on, as you get closer to finishing your proposal and you're really getting close to getting IRB approval, this is where you secure the agreement. Typically, within most universities, you want to check with your IRB to see when they allow you to reach out and ask if participation would be allowed. Most universities have like an authorization form where you can utilize the premises of the organization, or that you can, or a formal memorandum of understanding, an MOU that would detail the relationship. And most universities have some kind of template that you can use to get those permissions and so on. And then once you finally get IRB approval, then you're free to go and collect that data as you see fit. Once that happens though, as I've often said in many of these videos, when it's time to collect data, you've received approval from your IRB, your proposal has been approved by your committee. You've overcome 60–70% of the hurdles of finishing your dissertation. I mean, that literature review is the mountain. If you can get over the literature review mountain, you've made it. You're so close. And so we want to be poised and ready to collect our data right from the get-go, because organizations change. The people within those organizations change. Their relationship with the outside world can be changed, or their relationship with you could be strained. If time marches on and they forget about you, it's often easier for them just to say no. In fact, think about it this way. For most organizations that are working with you, no is often an easier answer than yes, until you frame the yes around this study is going to help you. It's going to show that you're more engaged with the wild world of research at large, that you are engaged in understanding with what is happening most currently within your field, and that truly they're committed to the state of the art, learning what the state of the art is. If you make them look good, or will make them look good, the yes answer is so much easier to receive. But if they perceive that you're unreliable, someone that is not going to come through for them, or that it's going to take just too much work for you to get this study done, then chances are they're going to say no, or they can even pull out of the deal. So my recommendation is to keep those relationships whole. I mean, almost like a friend, like not like a best friend where you're calling them every day and being a stalker, but you do want to maintain a relationship. So if you're just starting out, this is where, utilize LinkedIn and make connections with people in the target organization or in the target industry that you may be focusing upon. And don't be creepy. I guess that's number two, is don't be someone that is spamming them or reaching out and asking strange questions that strangers would never ask. Instead, build a relationship first such that you can get to the ask later on. And then finally, number three, as you're still in the approval stage, IRB approval stage, this is where you can build your relationship more firmly. You're getting closer. You can start reaching out to people and saying things like, hey, I am a doctoral student and I am interested in collecting data of this kind in a relationship in an organization like yours. Is that something that you would even be open to? And this is just an informal question. If you're in the latter stages and you're actually collecting the data, you're letting them know where you are in the data collection process, and you're continuing to foster that relationship. Now, this brings up sort of the point, Kath, is that if your organization left you, based upon what I've said so far, you have to assess, well, what happened? And it's possible, very possible, that just something changed in that organization that caused them to move away, that caused them to decide that they didn't want to work with you anymore. And so my recommendation would be immediately contact your chair and say, could I just simply look for an organization that's similar to the one that I had selected? And then you start those initial stages again. Utilize LinkedIn. In fact, for those of you that aren't connected with me on LinkedIn, connect with me there and find other people in the target industries that you're interested in. And then start building more and more of a structured, healthy relationship with those individuals. It's going to be a slow process, Kath. Just know that I'm here to support you. Reach out to me with questions. In fact, that goes for all of you. Please do reach out to me with questions. I'm here to answer them. And I wish you all the best of luck. Have a great day.